Hi, I'm Alice Chater, and you are listening to Main Pod Girl.
Hey, welcome to Main Pod Girl, a podcast made by Popheads for Popheads. Every episode we'll be diving into all kinds of pop culture topics with some of our favorite artists and music commentators. I'm your host, AJ Marks. And I'm so excited to introduce today's special guest. She's a singer, songwriter, and ballet dancer with over 115 million streams to her name, as well as collaborations with Iggy Azalea and Professor Green. Gay Times UK named her Britain's new pop princess. So let's hear it for Baby A. It's Alice Chater. And Alice, I want to start off by saying I love your accent. Can you tell the people where you're from?
So I'm from this little town called Ramsgate in Kent, in England.
In Kent? Oh my God, I love that. So I used to live in Liverpool, and then I moved to London for a couple of years. Yeah. Oh my God, the accent.
Liverpool. No way. Wow. Okay, I love that. What brought you to Liverpool?
Paul McCartney's songwriting school, actually. You know, Lipa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I went there for a couple of years, and then I moved down to London on a total whim, and I was like, I'm obsessed with London, like truly, like that whole area, all of South London. I just love.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And there's like amazing writers that have come out of Paul McCartney's school, like Caroline Alien, I think, who I've worked with a lot. Like she went there, and that's how she got discovered.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. She is incredible. I ran a song by her once a couple of years ago, and she just had such great feedback on it. And yeah, she's incredible. I love her.
Yeah, I love that.
So do you want to start off with what you're listening to? That's usually how we like to kick things off. I can go first if you want. You can kind of like round things up.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
What are you listening to?
The new Shawn Mendes album, I will start with.
He is so beautiful. He's sexy.
He's gorgeous. Yeah. No, Shawn Mendes, I really, this album cycle, none of the like singles hit for me right away. And I was like, oh, like if you make enough songs as an artist, like even just like 3 songs that I really like, I will be checking out. I'm like that kind of loyal listener where I'll just be checking out every single song you've put out for the next 10 years until you put out 10 years of songs that I haven't listened to. You know what I mean? Like I'm very loyal. I'll give you a million chances. So Shawn Mendes, his past 2 albums, I really, really enjoyed. I think it was the self-titled one and Wonder. I really loved those albums. So I was like listening to all the singles, but I wasn't really sure where it was going. And then it kind of clicked with me when I heard the album in full. I was like, this is maybe one of my favorite albums of the year.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to hear a body of work to understand the singles.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it is very much the music. You have to hear it
totally.
as a body.
Yeah. There are not really any like pop singles on the album. So I respect him for going into something in his lane, which is so like pop, like single oriented, and making a body of work that like really doesn't navigate in those same ways, and like just having faith in the work itself. I thought that was brilliant. So that's maybe one of my favorite things. And then Kesha released a new song called Delusional, and it's just, I don't know, it just feels like I'm listening to like a 2010 Kesha song in a way, and just in terms of she just feels so youthful. You know what I mean? Like she has this new like.
I mean, I loved Joyride.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing with that.
It was so quirky, and like, like it just felt very like I really wanted to do some bizarre dances to that. Like, it's just very like I love it, and it's very camp, and I'm obsessed. Like I thought it was very cool.
Have you ever wanted to like dance in someone else's music video? I feel like that could be really fun.
Oh my gosh, well, honey, I used to.
Oh, wait, really? Wait, hold on, because I don't actually know this lore.
Yeah. I mean, when I first moved to London, I was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I danced in one of Pixie Lott's videos.
Oh.
I don't think you really see me though, but
Okay.
I remember I was dancing behind her. She had this song called Nasty, I think.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know Pixie Lott, but she was really big in the
Yeah.
UK.
I've heard her a lot in the clubs going out in the UK.
Really?
And yeah,
Yeah.
she was on that one Selena Gomez song too.
Was she?
Yeah,
Oh,
she had a Selena Gomez collab back when Selena was with The Scene.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
I think it's like We Own the
Yeah.
Night or something. Yeah.
Ah, okay, love that. And then I think there's, yeah, but of course, that was one of the things that I wanted to do
Hmm.
was to be a backing dancer too.
Oh, I love,
So
well, you kind of got to do both.
exactly, exactly. But that's why I really I love I love having dancers
Mm,
on my music video, and I love working with them and wanting to have their moment too and
yeah.
really let them shine, because that used to be me, you know.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for the work ethic that dancers have,
Mm,
um, especially on music video sets. Like there's a lot of waiting around. The hours are very long. Like
mm,
you're doing the choreography like over and over and over. And in some ways, you know, like the dancers are working harder than the actual artists, because
yeah.
they're normally doing a bit more complicated choreography, and they're having to really, you know, nail it every time. So I have so much respect for dancers. Like it's a really cutthroat industry. And even like when I was younger and I did dance auditions, I was the worst. I was the worst auditioner ever. It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
a really high pressure, like it's just I would get so nervous and I couldn't retain choreography quickly. So I would just be having panic attacks and being like, oh, I feel like I'm doing terrible. So I have so much respect for dancers. Yeah.
In uni, I was in the music courses, but everyone thought I was on the dance course because I would hang out with all the dancers. I just had like a lot of, like you said, like respect for their work ethic. Like the music courses, we'd have like maybe 3 hours of classes like spread across the day. They would go in before anyone else would go in, and they would leave after everyone else would leave, and they would be consistently working from like nine
Yeah.
to seven every single day.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's so incredible. And a lot of them were, singers and artists and performers too,
Yeah.
on top of their incredible dance skills. So yeah.
FKA Twigs is a good example. She was also dancing in music videos and was in the dance community, and
Mm.
then became an artist. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for that. But and it's I think if you have had dance training and you've been in the dance community, yeah, your work ethic is just on another level. Like you can just keep going. And that's what I've found has really helped me, like on video sets and in those situations. Like I don't even want to break, which is a little bad. I don't need to eat. I just want to keep going. Like when I get
Yeah.
on a roll. And I think that is down to just being kind of, yeah, used to that mentality.
The hyperfixation trait is real though. Like I have that with a lot of things where I'm just like, I've already started. Like, let me just finish this first
Yeah.
before I worry about eating or sleeping or going to the bathroom or anything like that. Like, let
Yes.
me just like work through this
Oh
and then
my
have my break time
gosh.
after.
Absolutely. Like, and also like, the amount of times that I forget to go to the toilet, and I then like make myself ill because I'm like holding in like a bunch of tea that I
You're like, wow, I really had to
was
go. Why
drinking.
didn't I just go?
I know. It's literally it's one of those things that even when I was 11, I was Annie,
Oh,
and I
no.
remember I had tonsillitis during like a particular week of shows, and I was determined that I wanted to do the shows, but I was drinking so much, like so much. And my chaperone, she didn't let me go to the toilet because I had probably like 2 minutes before my Daddy Warbucks scene, and I was like, I really need the toilet. Like I've drunk so much. Like I think I'm going to explode. And I just, she didn't let me go to the toilet. And I went on stage. I started dancing, doing a waltz with Daddy Warbucks, and I just could not hold it. And I was 11 years old, and I just started peeing on the stage. And Daddy Warbucks, he was having to step like around my pee, and it was being picked up by the microphones, and like the front row kind of saw what was going on, and yeah, that's like I was a bit mortified by that.
Oh my. And you're still in like the music industry. That's crazy. I would have left. I would have been an accountant.
Oh, I know. Well, it's funny. I remember me and my mum speaking to the lovely man, comedian who played Daddy Warbucks, and he was like, "Don't worry, Alice. I've shat my pants so many times on stage, like a bit of piss is nothing." And so
That's great.
I remember he made me feel, yeah, it made me feel much better. But
Oh, yeah. And also, once that's happened, it's like, what's the worst that can happen from there? You know what I mean? Like, you've
exactly.
already been through the worst. I remember that actually reminded me, and I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast before, or ever publicly. The first time I went into a recording studio, I was 10 years old, or maybe I was 11 years old at this point, like freshly 11. And
Yeah.
I was so intimidated by, the people in this story. I also never admitted this to them either. I was so intimidated by the recording process. I just didn't feel like I could ask them to go to the bathroom, and they couldn't see me. Like, there was no, like, like in the movies
You
you
were,
have like the big window where you can see the producers and stuff. I didn't have that. It was just like a smaller vocal booth, and I didn't feel like I could ask someone to go to the bathroom, and I didn't want to disrupt. I was like, let me just get through these takes first. Ended up just I just was like, I gotta go, or something like that. Or maybe I didn't even say anything. Maybe I just left, and then they just
yeah.
like heard me run out or something. And I ended up not making it to the bathroom. I ended up just peeing my pants on the
Oh,
way
your
there.
pants. Oh
And
no.
and then I was stuck in that bathroom for a bit. And then they came in. They're like, AJ, do you need like new pants? And I was like, no. Why would I need new pants? I'm fine.
Oh
They're like, okay,
no.
we're just gonna leave them outside for you.
Oh, sweet. I can really relate to that though. Absolutely.
And even to this day, I'm like, where did they get those pants? Like, and just have them lying around in the studio. Like, I don't know. I can't remember how the
Oh,
rest happened, but I
bless you.
was
No,
mortified.
I can really relate to that. I I have like peed my pants like a lot of times. Like,
This is not
yeah.
where I anticipated the conversation
No.
going.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. It's interesting. The same when I remember when I was in band practice. Funny. I played the clarinet, and the same situation happened then, I think. I was too scared to ask to go to the toilet, and then I drank a bunch of water, and then on the way to the toilet it was just like coming out of me. A trail to the toilet. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Relieving
Wow.
yourself on the way. Yeah. So anyway, I really want to get into the music, and more importantly, at least to me, the music videos, because they're just fucking phenomenal.
Oh,
But before we get into all that, I want to address this meta narrative first. So you released two new songs this year. Your first release is in almost 4 years, and I saw some comments on Popheads about these new songs being like your like quote unquote comeback. I wasn't sure if that's how you saw it yourself. Like, what's your take on this next chapter of Alice? Like, what's the way that you see it, and what's like the narrative from your perspective?
I definitely don't think it's a comeback, because I think that I obviously I have a really amazing, solid fan base, and it's a small fan base, but I feel like even with my old music, I was building, and I definitely was nowhere near where I wanted to be, and my music hadn't still reached a lot of people yet. So I think it's weird. I wouldn't call it that, but
Mhm.
I can understand why the OG fans would call it that, though. So I get that. But I think, yeah, it really was a long time, 4 years.
Mhm.
It seems that I completely disappeared, which I kind of did, but there was multiple reasons for that. But yeah, it's just been absolutely incredible to be able to finally release music again and start building again, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's made me very happy to see the the response and that the fans are loving it, and they are my biggest supporters, and they are like also like my marketing team. They like constantly really pushing showing people me, like creating Twitter threads, TikToks. Like I am just forever grateful for them, and I feel like we are growing together.
Yeah, I love that. That's like it's always a good take on it because it really is like kind of group project in a way.
It really
You're like I'll set the agenda and like if you guys are vibing with it, you guys can join the team. I used to have like a street team for my band, like
oh
going
yeah,
around at different shows and like running around with flyers. And my sisters were part of the street team. It was so cute, but it was like
and
it's this whole big thing that everyone can be a part of, and it's so much fun. So this is kind of like, and also it's like when you're constantly making music, even if it's not coming out, like time can really move so fast and you're like, wait, hold on, it's actually been this long. Like that's wild from other people's perspectives because in your head it's like the progress of like where the new music's at or what's happening next or what's it sounding like.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I do think COVID, it felt like 2 years was just
totally.
disappeared with COVID. And it was really like a solid stop in COVID. It was difficult. And then I was parting ways with my old label and just the process of coming out of that deal and then going into a new deal. And yeah, it's just a very long process and a lot of politics too. Like during COVID, it was difficult, but it was also very reflective. And it was an amazing chance for me to really sit back and be like, what do I want to say as an artist? And what kind of music do I want to release? And really take time in the studio and really work on the sound and really work on my vocals and delivery. And yeah, so it was a great time for me to kind of work out and do some development too,
Yeah.
which is so important, like artist development. And I think you can really see it with Sabrina Chapel. They've been in the industry for a long time and they've really worked very hard developing themselves as artists. And sometimes it just does take a bit longer. So I think it's been good.
Yeah, I will say I was just on Billboard's 25 Greatest Pop Stars of the 21st Century podcast. Shout out to my friend Andrew, who runs that podcast. And on that episode, the most recent episode, I was talking about, looking forward the next 5 or 6 years when we're looking at who are going to be the big pop stars. It's not going to be people who just started releasing music in the next 5 or 6 years. It's if you look at the Charlie Chappell, Sabrina, Shabuzi, Teddy Swims model. It's going to be people who have been hustling for years, having music out on Spotify for ages, and not being afraid of like having that out. It's the whole Lizzo thing of like now everyone's like it just takes one little moment, one little spark, and suddenly someone who is a cult favorite or someone who is underrated is in the mainstream and like is the conversation. And so I totally see that with so many people that I'm like personally a big fan of. I'm like, I know that it's just everyone has that potential. It's just about that one little thing happening. Yeah. And it's inspiring.
Definitely. And I think sometimes people think, oh, she blew up overnight. And often the case is, they've been hustling for many years to
Yeah.
get to that point, but you just don't really see it. So it has been really, I think it's amazing with Charlie XCX and Tinashe.
Yeah.
These girls have been working hard and working on their artistry. And now when they have hits, they're able to put on amazing shows.
Mm-hmm.
Their performances are incredible because they have experience. And yeah, I have so much respect for that.
Totally. It shows the value of a rebrand and it shows the value of like knowing what you do best and really focusing in on that. Sometimes it takes
Yeah.
time. You have to release some music that you really like to end up getting into music you really love and you really feel is you. So, artistically, what are the biggest changes in your approach this time around with releasing music on this new label and everything?
I think, well, firstly, it's been amazing working with Tricky Stewart.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, don't think I didn't notice that Tricky Stewart credit. That is incredible.
yeah, and he is absolutely phenomenal. And working with him, just I've really concentrated on my vocals
Mm.
and my vocal delivery. I think before, when, for example, when I would go into sessions and work with different producers and stuff, it would be very quick recording vocals. And I think actually with a lot of producers, they don't really concentrate too much on the vocals,
Mm.
especially when they have a really good singer in front of them. They think everything, I'm not saying all producers, but they think everything sounds good.
I've
So,
experienced this too. Yeah, I know.
like,
Yeah.
let's go with the scratch take, and but they're going to focus on the production.
Yeah.
It was always that way for me when I did sessions. It was always like, okay, I'm gonna like do the vocals quickly, but it's all about, creating the production and the structure of the song, and but not really like having a separate session to really, really hone in on the vocals.
Mm.
And with Tricky, he's very much record the vocals first on a very simple track, and then build the track around the vocals. That was almost quite new to me because I never did it that way in sessions. So it really made me concentrate on getting the best vocals can possibly get, and really pushing me, not just like delivering pretty beautiful vocals. Is about the tone, and not belting too much, using my mix more, or
Snarling a little
saving,
bit, or
yeah, like saving
breathing.
some, the high notes, but just not throwing them away too much, and just doing just riffs all over the place, like just
Yeah.
really honing in on the vocals and the tone and textures, and yeah, really like making that the forefront of the song first, and then building the production around it. And that's been really amazing this time when creating the music. It's really been vocals first, and then we build around the vocals.
Yeah, I will say that like I think I like to think of it as like gymnastics almost. So like my sisters did gymnastics growing up and they are putting on a show. They're making it look easy and they're making it look like, fluent, and they're doing a little bit of dancing and they're doing a little bit of like showing off, but when it comes to the flips and all the big showy things, it's like you have to work that into the routine. It can't just be, you know, I'm just gonna do a flip and there you go. It's
For
like
the
it's
sake
a
of the
whole
clip.
production. You have to
Yes.
really focus on every little aspect, and you get graded on not just the flips that you do, but on the other things that like those things are so important too, and you can't really take them for granted. I think there's a difference between being a vocalist and like a recording artist, where a vocalist could be really good at singing, great backing vocals, great at being in live bands, wedding bands, things like that. These are all like things that I love doing, things that I have a lot of friends that do. Like they're really rewarding practices, but being a recording artist is so different, where it's every little intonation, every word, you have to like think about the vowels of words to make the song sound better or the lyrics sound better. Like you have to think about like the emotion behind words and not just the big parts, but like I don't know. It's
Absolutely.
yeah,
Everything has to be intentional, even just tiny little breaths, or like it
yeah.
could be something that isn't even like really singing, just like a rap chat kind of one word, but it has to be intentional and done correctly
Mhm.
to the vibe of the track. All those things are so important. And even backing vocals, I've always done my backing vocals, and I've always done the arrangements myself because I
Love
love
that. The
I love
stacking.
harmony arrangements, and
Yeah.
I just love doing harmony arrangements, so, and creating different textures with my voice. So yeah, it's all very intentional.
Yeah. And that comes through in the song Don't Let My Boyfriend Get in Your Way. Okay, one thing that listeners of this podcast should know about me is I love a title that just draws you in. I love a title that's basically just a sentence. It's so interesting. You're never going to mix it up with another song like that because it's such a unique title. And it also, like, before I listened to it, like, I remember when it came out and I was like thinking about like don't let my boyfriend get in your way, meaning like fuck him, like he's the antagonist in your life. And I wasn't thinking about it in the way that it actually is in the song at first, but there were so many different like ways that it could go, and then when you listen to it you're like, oh, of course it's that. So cheeky, so fun, and the music video is incredible. Honestly, one of my favorites from this year. You're also a ballet dancer, right? Like, because walking on the treadmill on your tiptoes is like kind of iconic. Like, I really love that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we had so much fun doing that video. Like,
Yeah.
I love the aesthetics, and yeah, I was really like, I really would love a treadmill, and I want to go on point on the treadmill.
Yeah. Was that tough, or was that like is it because you're so used to it, like it's easier than it?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm not sure. I think it is easier. It's maybe easier than it looks, I
Yeah.
think. But I think I'm quite. I grew up doing ballet and all types of dance, really. So yeah, I just really wanted to bring in the ballet, modern jazz, just all different types that I grew up doing. I mean, on the treadmill, it's actually not that hard. I
Okay.
think it's like when you're off the treadmill and you're doing center work, like
Yeah, and you
that's
have to like
like,
push forward, and yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Clearly the art of the video is something you value and uphold.
Mm.
Do the visuals inspire or like drive your inspiration for the vibe of the songs, or is it the other way around?
Normally, it's when I'm in the recording studio during the session when we're writing the song. That's when, like, you can always tell when I get excited about a song because I'll instantly start bouncing around the studio and being like, oh my God, the visuals should be like this, the music video should be like this. And then I start creating it in my head like a movie.
That's the best way.
Yeah, and I love movies and I love acting too. So I have quite a strong imagination, I think. So
Mhm.
when I'm in sessions, like I will come up with visuals in my head whilst we're doing the song. And often, sometimes also, I would play the song and then I would also play one of my favorite music videos that I can feel that would go with the song, and that also like excites me, and yeah.
Oh, I love that. I'm such a fan of the Come Alive video too, and especially that shot where it's like going back and forth between two outfits with two different hairstyles, but like in the strobing effect. That I
Mm.
was like, whoa. I was like,
Oh,
whoa,
thank
I love
you.
that. Like it's where you see a little technique that like is new to you, and you're like, whoa, like I have not seen that before in a music video.
Thank you. The Tom Kerr is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes,
Uh,
huge
I met
fan.
him through Iggy Azalea.
I was,
He
yeah,
shot Lola for us.
another great video.
Thank you. And I fell in love with Tom. Like he's amazing, and I feel like we really get each other. So I just love working with him, and he tries to always push camera techniques and always tries to do something a little different in his videos, and he pulls it off amazingly.
I love that. Yeah, and you have yet to release a debut album. I'm sure you've given it much thought and you've considered how that would look and everything, right? It's like every artist dream is like that debut. Is a full-length project something that you see in the near future for yourself? Is it something that you really want to build even more to? Like, where is that kind of in your vision line right now?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think I'm so proud of all the body of work that we've created in these last couple of years. So definitely an album soon, I hope. At some point next year, I
Yes.
hope.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, and there's lots of songs on there that I absolutely love. Like there's so much music basically.
Yeah.
um, that kind of cover everything. Like I have more slow songs and more danceable songs. Like there's a variety, and I feel like that's what makes personally my favorite album. Like there's a variety. Like even with like Sabrina's record, that's why I'm like obsessed with her album, because she has one song that is maybe a little bit more country, and then one that is like very pop espresso, and then she has a little bit of more R&B one with like Bedcam.
Yeah.
Like there's a variety, but it's all meshes so nicely because of her vocals. Like the vocals never change. She has her thing now, and it just yeah. And I think with my album, there's a lot of there's a lot of songs that I'm just very proud of, and I can't wait to put out in the world.
Yeah, you got to find that connective tissue, and then as long as
Totally.
that's in the song, then you can make any sort of song that you want, and it's still an Alice
Yeah,
Chater song. So that's awesome.
exactly.
So I have a game for us to play. All right, let's go with Popheads Gone Viral. So nowadays, so many older songs are going viral and even climbing into the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. I'm going to give you some songs that I think could go big in the charts once again, and also four different methods of theoretically how you would make these songs hits. Are you ready to make these songs go to the top?
Oh, absolutely. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Perfect. So the four ways that these songs could go viral, and you can pick these ways like multiple times if you want. Like it's not just like one per song. The first way is featuring Madonna. The second way is a Simlish version goes viral. The third way is a 10-minute version gets released. And the fourth way is an orchestral version. Like think like a giant orchestra, maybe like James Bondified, like, that kind of like really just so many like lush strings. And so the first song that we're going to put to the test here is Bulletproof by LaRue. Do you remember this time, baby? Yeah. Bulletproof featuring Madonna, Simlish version, 10-minute version, or orchestral version.
I think a Simlish
Yeah.
version,
Oh,
because at the moment, like I'm really obsessed with watching like dogs try and sing like Zara Larsson and Symphony, and just animals that are like their mouth is like slightly moving. They're like that is like the funniest shit ever, and that's really gone viral. I would say the Simlish version.
I love that. Yeah, I was gonna say the same actually, because as great as it would be to have Madonna on this song, oh, maybe I want that version. But I'm gonna also go with Simlish version just because like Fruby Poof, like it would just Fruby Poof, like something like that would be just
Yeah,
so funny. And I'm just like a huge fan of The Sims and Simlish versions. I think everything like I was trying to
yeah,
find out with my friend the other day if there were like Simlish Christmas songs because it would be so funny to just put on Christmas songs and just see if anyone realizes that it's in Simlish,
right. I
like in the
agree.
background of a party.
It's interesting. During COVID, I got The Sims again, and I started,
Right.
making my dream house. I
Oh,
got really
same. Wait,
obsessed with
that's
making my dream house.
yeah. All my like I did all the mods, like right, like the custom content stuff.
Mm.
And now none of it works, obviously, because I haven't really touched it since 2020. But I was also like in the trenches in Sims every day, waking up just playing Sims, making houses. I
Right?
didn't
It's addictive.
I didn't even have them interact. I just wanted to make houses. So the next song is 3 by Britney Spears. Is this going to feature Madonna, Simlish version, 10-minute version, or orchestral?
I think I think Britney and Madonna
Yeah.
for that one. I think everyone loved that moment when they kissed. It's always being it's always being shared on my Instagram. I'm obviously a big, yeah, I just love Madonna and Britney together. I feel they are a powerhouse together. And also, everyone, whatever, if Britney puts out something now, everyone would be so supportive, and
Totally.
it would go number one, like
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, period. My thought process is like orchestral version would be nice because they kind of did that with the like acoustic version they did on Glee, which I love. Like I love the Glee version of
I
3.
haven't heard.
I think it was like Santana and Sam and Brittany, and the whole song is about like a threesome, and so I kind of feel like I think it's about a devil's three-way too. I think it's like Peter, Paul, and Mary. Like it's about two guys and a girl. So I would love Madonna on this song, and like, but if I had Madonna, like also Christina Aguilera, right, or at least like a third, like that'd be kind of iconic.
It'd have to be Christina Aguilera. Like,
Christina
them
Aguilera.
three.
But then also it's like it'd be great. Actually, I don't know. No more men. Never mind. I was gonna say to fit the theme of the song, you could have
No more
like
men.
two.
Like,
Yeah, no more men. No
yeah,
more men. Madonna and Christina.
totally.
Peter, Paul, and Chrissy. Yeah. Brittany, Brittany, Madge, and Chrissy. There we go.
Yeah.
Now it works. And so the next one is "Be All Right" by Ariana Grande.
Mm.
Do you remember this one? It was like kind of. It was like a minor single.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love this. I
So
love this
good.
song. Victoria Monet penned it.
Yes.
I think this one orchestral.
Orchestral version. Ooh, I could hear that. We're gonna be. Yeah, I could see that. I could see it. I think you'd have to like keep the percussion in there somehow, but I could totally see that through the strings. You know.
Hmm.
I want to give my 10-minute version some love, but I think I'm gonna go with featuring Madonna still for this one too, because it's kind of like Vogue esque.
It is quite Vogue-esque, and I remember Ari did a lot of Vogue
Yeah.
choreography to this one. I remember the choreography that she did was very voguing.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go with Madonna. You're going with orchestral. The last one is Diva by Beyonce.
Yeah, I think
Madonna Simlish 10-minute or orchestral.
I think Simlish, because I would again, I know Sims are not animals, but it just really cracks me up when the animals like on TikTok do like a high version of a song. Like, and I can just imagine different animals doing a high pitched version of Diva, right? Or just the Sims, like with the Simlish language. Like,
If it was a beaver doing this, it could be Emma a beaver.
I mean, exactly.
I like, can actually see that going. We are like so in sync here because I was thinking Simlish version for this too. I actually like make the methods and make the songs completely separate so that I like can't think about it beforehand. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think a Simlish version would be great. I think,
Uh,
but I'm gonna go with 10-minute version here. The road less traveled, only because I feel like if Beyonce came on this song now, like Sasha Fierce was a moment, right? But then there was like Beyonce like self-titled 5 years later. And since then, like since this, it's been so much stronger, her whole vibe and everything. I just feel like I would love to hear 2024 Beyonce, Miss Cowboy Carter on the song Diva now. Like I would love an extended version of like what she would bring to that now. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Actually, yeah, I feel that too. I feel that.
I love that. And that's the game.
Love it. Love
There we go.
it.
So anyway, thank you so much, Alice, for joining me. This was so much fun. And please like go and stream Alice's new music, everyone who is listening to this, because it's so great. Don't let my boyfriend get in your way.
Don't let him.
And come alive. And I'm so excited for what's next. Do you have anything else to like maybe tease?
Yes, I mean, I think when you hear "Don't Let My Boyfriend Get in Your Way" and maybe a bit in "Come Alive," you realize that I am a little angry at men and at one man in particular, and I think and the whole album really is about one person and how much he's deeply betrayed me, but I absolutely, at the same time, I absolutely love him to death. It's a little toxic. And I think the next one is actually one of my favorite songs ever that I've written. And it was probably
Okay.
I wrote it in a time where I've never been so upset in my life
Oh wow.
from a relationship. So I think the lyric means a lot to me, and but it is a very strong record at the same time, but also is vulnerable but very danceable.
Love. See, I think that's something we can all get behind.
Yes,
The Robin model, like crying on the dance floor.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. I'm here for that.
I'm really proud of this one. So yeah.
So exciting. Thank you so much for being on the show. I loved having you.
Me.
Thank you so much, Alice, for joining me, and thank you to Noah for the theme music, and thanks to Chris for the editing. Make sure to rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on right now. Bye, y'all.